Alright, I am back with, I thought about doing a Destiny video on the patch notes that just went out, as there appear to be a few that are unusual that I was not expecting to see. Some buffs, some crafting things. I need to look into that more. But this is a day that has an abundance of riches. Abundant, what is that? In terms of actual news items, a ton of news just dropped across like a ridiculous amount of games. After I had already written five Forbes articles, and well, I could just keep writing. I'm tired, and I figured I would just condense some of the more major ones into a video. We are trying the Russian roulette experiment, where I record this in the same room as a baby who is over there, who you cannot see, but if you hear any noises, there we go. And where if the video ends abruptly. A bunch of news was made. I'm not going to focus on like literally everything that happened in like the last hour or so, but World of Warcraft announced a new expansion that has like a playable dragon race of people that look weird. Lost Ark, which is the game that I would be playing if I could clone myself and have enough time to fully devote to its more MMO aspects, is releasing the Glaivier class for the martial artists, I think, and then South Vern is a new region. I don't have time for that game. Plus, I didn't really like how loot worked in that game, and I was just kind of farming these arbitrary gear sets to raise my power level, and I sort of just lost interest. And there are already like 11 other subclasses that I have not tried because the time investment for that game is just nuts at this point. So even if I like it, there's just no way. Moving on to probably what the biggest news item of the day is for the non-looter crowd is this announcement that Amy Hennig is doing a Star Wars game again. This is after EA killed her narrative-based Star Wars game that she was originally working on because EA sucks and she deserves better than that. Amy Hennig is now like the head of Skydance Interactive Entertainment or something like that. I think that's the name of the company. And they announced that this game is happening through that company. This company has also previously announced some sort of narrative-driven Marvel game. I think they did that like back in July or something, but nothing has really come of that yet. Like, I'm excited for this. Amy Hennig is great. Uncharted, one of my favorite series of all time. I think she'll do a great job with it. I was really disappointed that she lost her other Star Wars game. It's just that there's no like real news about like actual news here in terms of like what we know about the game. It's narrative driven. She's making it, but there's no timeline. There's no real concepts. You know, we don't know what era this takes place in or what it will be focused on, if it at all relates to her last game or what she was working on there. We have no real idea. So it also seems in the pretty early stages here. So this seems like something that is years away and not something that is going to be debuting imminently. But obviously that is a very, very high profile Star Wars project to keep an eye on. As far as we know, that's going to be across all platforms. So I guess we'll see. Moving into the looter shooter landscape, Wonderlands announced that it is dropping its first, maybe this is already known, but like its first quasi DLC thing. It's like live content-ish type thing, where there's a new dungeon coming on the 21st, in 2 days from now. The first post-launch season pass content for the game. Something about how the coiled serpent people have a god that's in a shark body, and this whole thing it's not related to the Chaos dungeons, but it's its own dungeon. So you will be going through that dungeon and then fighting this boss. The boss is supposed to evolve week to week. There's like 4 different iterations, and it gets like progressively harder. There's new loot. I know there's new cosmetics. I assume there's new weapons as well. I saw someone throwing a grenade that looked like a D20 dice, so that's interesting. So I'm assuming there's like actual new loot as well. I just hit Chaos level 20 in this game, so that seems like something I will at least try to jump into, but I'm also attempting to start Elden Ring here and maybe move on from Wonderlands into more kind of fruitful territory. And we'll see how that goes. I already don't like the idea that they said that this is one of those dungeons where if you die once, they will kick you out. Hate that they do that in this game. Like, you don't need to do roguelite stuff in Borderlands games. It's not fun. You can die in too many BS ways in Borderlands and Wonderlands games for that to feel good. They did this with their whatever quasi-raid things, their takedowns that they had before, and I hated it there. I hate it now, so really wish they didn't do that. Second point of interest for loot stuff, Outriders just announced that they're revealing their World Slayer expansion in 2 days, also on Thursday. Busy day. Oh, and I have like an 8,000 word TWAB to read that day too. So they have like a really short trailer that they showed, kind of new environments. There's like a new polar bear type enemy looking thing that I have fought. Surprise, I have already played this. I cannot talk about it. There was a preview event a couple weeks back where I got to play part of the campaign and listen to the pre-briefing early. I don't think there's really anything I could say about it past that at this point. I'm going to stick to my embargo here, other than I did play it. It is a real expansion. This isn't like just some little free tiny content drop thing. This is a like legit expansion, and I will be talking about it more on Thursday. I have recorded footage that I will be making a video out of. I will write an article and we will talk about it then. So stay tuned for that. Finally, Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Avengers announced that it is releasing its next hero in May, and it is Thor Jane Foster edition. No surprise that they waited to reveal this right after the Thor Love and Thunder trailer gave us our first look at Natalie Portman as Jane Foster. This version will obviously not feature Natalie Portman's likeness because that's not how they do things in the Avengers game, even if they are trying to do MCU-type tie-ins. And I knew about this for a while. Avengers insider dude Miller told me this a long time ago, and I just like, I don't know, I've mentioned it, like it could have been Jane Foster, it could have been Black Widow. What's Black Widow's sister's name? Yelena. They were going to do like a mirror character. And I think the concern here is that she might be too similar to Thor in that, like we know that there are mirror characters. There's Kate and Clint, and those are very similar in that they're both archers, and yet they have like really kind of different kits. They have like different special moves, they have different power moves, they have a lot of different stuff, different arrow types. My guess here is that Jane Foster and Thor are going to share a lot more things. I think maybe she'll have different specials, but I think they're going to have a lot more in common than Kate and Clint's, which I think will be disappointing for some people, and they will think she's kind of a Thor skin that you need your own gear and leveling for. So that will be out in May. Spider-Man came out in December, so that is 6 months, and that was just for PlayStation before we got a new character. The next character almost certainly is She-Hulk, and that will also align with Marvel releasing the She-Hulk series. As you can see, things are very much slowing down with Avengers. We are waiting 6 months for a hero now, and it's a mirror hero, and then we'll wait who knows even how many more months for She-Hulk, which is a new hero. She-Hulk is like a new kit. It's not just a Hulk clone, but that's going to be a very long time away. Crystal Dynamics has announced they're making a new Tomb Raider game in Unreal Engine 5. They have also announced that they are helping out Microsoft with the Perfect Dark game, so that is their priority. I have a lot of trouble seeing any significant content coming to Avengers past 2022. Just don't think the market is there for it, and as much as I have, tried to keep up with this game and, have chronicled its journey, I don't think the audience is there. I think there is not enough of a player base for this game to justify more content than what we're currently seeing, which is not very much content. And they are really just focused on making a lot of MCU skins, which sell, and things like Jane Foster are free. So you can see where kind of their priorities have shifted. Don't think Jane Foster will be any really significant moment for the game. I'm sure she'll look cool, but again, like I think Avengers is a little too far gone at this point. So that is a summary of all the giant news items that dropped in the last hour or two here, and that saved me from writing 5 articles. So the magic of video. I'm going to go sort through these patch notes in Destiny and see if there's anything interesting in there. Bait and Switch got a buff to 35% damage from 20%. That was already really good on Cataclysmic, so curious to see how that feels. I think I've deleted a lot of bait and switch weapons. And there's something about a new form of extraction that only extracts neutral elements, so I'm wondering if you can extract more neutral elements through that system now. Weird stuff, so I'm gonna go investigate that. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care.